Hello guys, welcome back. And in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to build a website using HTML and CSS. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is what our website will look like at the end of the video. And it's going to be responsive on all screen sizes. And we're also going to have this sidebar that we're going to add using a little bit of JavaScript. And apart from being responsive, our navigation bar up here is going to be sticky, which means it's going to stick to the top of the screen, no matter which part of our website we scroll to, as you can see. And also, we're going to have this hero section right here with the head text and the image. Then down here, we're going to have these cards that show the status of our website. 99% happy clients, 350 plus projects completed, and all that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really means the world to me. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is get the icon we're going to use, this icon right here, and the font family. If you notice, this is not a normal font family, this is just from Google Fonts. So let's go ahead and get our icon and fonts. So right here, let's go ahead and search for Google Fonts, and when it opens up in your browser, click on it. Then right inside the website, you can search for just on their search bar. So search for just. This is it right here. Click on it and click on get fonts. Then click on get embed code. And right inside here, you can click on import. Copy this CDN and paste it right here in your CSS, just up there. And that should do it. Then to get the icon, you have to search for this website called CDN.js. And inside CDN.js, we are going to search for the icon right in their search bar here. You can search for remix icon. That is the icon we need. This is it. Click on the link, and when it loads up, just scroll down here and click on this icon to copy the CDN. Then you can paste it right up here in your head tag. You can delete this, the integrity, the cross origin, and the refer policy if you want. I just need all of that to make the icon work. So next, we're going to go ahead and link our HTML to the CSS file, so we don't have any error later on. So we're going to say style.css, and we're also going to create a link for our JavaScript. So right here, we're going to create scripts tag with a source, and the source is going to be app.css. Now, let's go ahead and get started with writing our code. So the first thing we're going to do is create a section tag. Okay, let's make use of div instead. Let's create a div tag, and right inside it, we're going to have a class. The class name here is going to be bg container, which is an abbreviation for background container. Then next, we're going to add our image right inside it. This image is going to be our background image, this image in the background. So to add the image, I already have the image right here, city bg. So I'm just going to type in city bg as the image, and the class of this image is going to be bg image, bgimg, which means background image. So after that, let's put this inside a div, and after this background container, let's get down here and create another div beside it. It's going to have a class, and it's going to be navbar container. This should be a hyphen, then container. Then right inside it, we're going to have our nav tag. It's going to have a class. Two classes actually. The first one is going to be navbar, and the second one is going to be container. Those are two different classes. So after that, we're going to create our anchor tag for the logo. This logo right here. So we need an anchor tag. It's going to have a h1 tag right inside it, and the class here is going to be logo text. Then after that, we can type in our text right in here. The text is dev core for the logo, and after that, I'm going to create a span down here, a span tag. It's going to have a class, and the class name is going to be nav btn container. Then right inside it, we're going to have our UL tag, and the UL tag is going to have a class. The class name here is going to be links container. Then right inside it, we're going to have our links. The links are actually an li tag with an anchor tag right inside it, and it's going to have the text right inside anchor tag. The first line there was projects. Let's see, I have projects, about, services, portfolio, and contact. So let's paste this 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. The second one was about. We have services and portfolio. So let's change it to about. This is going to be services, and we have portfolio. Then the last one was contacts. It's going to be contact. Then after that, we're going to create our button that says contact right here. Actually, this is not supposed to be contact. This is a mistake. We are not supposed to have 2 contact buttons. So for the button, we're going to be using sign in. So just after the URL tag, we're going to create a button down here. Then right inside it, we're going to use sign in instead of contact. So the class here is going to be contact. Actually, let's call it sign in btn. And right after that, we are going to add our icon. So to add the icon, the arrow icon, we need an I tag. Inside it, we're going to have a class, and the class here is going to be ri arrow right line. Now let's see what the icon looks like and see if it actually works. Now as you can see, that's our icon right there. It works, and this is the background we need. This is just perfect. So next, we can go ahead and create these cards. We're done with the hero section. I think we still need one more button, the hire me button. Let's see, the button is supposed to be after the navigation bar. I don't even think we've created the hero section. That was a mistake. Now let's go ahead and create the hero section. So after this div, I'm going to create one more div. It's going to have a class name. 2 classes are going to be inside this one, just like before. So the classes are going to be hero and container. Then right inside here, we're going to create a div. The class name is going to be hero tab. Then right inside it, we're going to have a header tag. The header tag is going to have a span. Let's give this header a class. The class here is going to be hero header. Then right inside this span, we are going to have our h1 tag for the head text. And if you notice, there are some color text right here, and you're going to put the color text inside different tags to be able to achieve that look. So I'm just going to copy this and then change things around. It says craft motion graphics that elevates your brand and engagement. I can change this command and engagements to make that look much more better. So let's just paste this. Let's see what we're going to have inside the spans. So the graphics is going to be inside a different tag, which will be span. Let's see, elevate will be inside a different tag, which will be span. Then lastly, we have engagement. So let's put that inside the span, and we're going to give them a different class name. So the class name here is going to be colored text. Let's copy the class and add it to the other spans. So we're going to add it here and here. So this is just what we want. Next, we can go ahead and create our paragraph. The text here, the description text. We're just going to copy that. It says, "Hey, I'm Josh with over a decade of experience in motion graphics. I specialize in creating dynamic and engaging visuals that bring brands to life and leave a lasting impact." So we can just copy that and paste it right in here. And we're going to give this a class name. So the class here is going to be, let's call it hero description. Then right after that, you can get down here and create, let's see, we're going to create another span, and right inside it, we're going to have a button. The button here, we have a class, and it's going to be our hire. It's going to be hire btn. And right inside it, we're going to have the text that says hire. This is supposed to be, let's see, hire me. This should do it. So let's delete this span. I don't think we actually need it. We should delete this. And now we can go ahead and add our image, the image right here. So to add the image, all you have to do is get right outside the header tag and create a div. It's going to have a class, and the class here is going to be hero img container, which is hero image container. Then right inside here, we're going to add the image. Let's see, the source is going to be hero img. I already have the image right here. Actually, let's use device. That's the image we have right there. The hero img is supposed to be the class. Let's say hero img for the class. So we're done with the hero section. Let's see what it looks like. As you can see, this is it right here. Now we can go ahead and create our cards. To create the cards, we just need to get outside these last two divs. So this one and this one. So outside the hero doc, we're going to create another div, and the class here is going to be starts container. Then right inside it, we're going to create our cards. They're actually span tags, so let's create a span tag and give it a class. The class here is going to be starts card. Then right inside it, we are going to have our h1 tag, and let's add the text first. Sorry, the number, it says 350 plus. Then the text that says let's say it says projects completed, projects completed. Then we can go ahead and duplicate this. So copy this span tag and paste it 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. That's correct. So next, we're going to change the values. This one is going to be 99%, and the text is going to be happy clients. So let's change this. The next one is going to be our active card 450 plus. So just change this to 4, and here we're going to have open source contributions. So let's change this. Let's indent this properly so it doesn't look bad. Then let's also do the same for this one. Then after that, we're going to change the last one. It says 650 plus project collaboration. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it right here, and that should do it. But for this for this blue card, we're going to be using a different class. This is the blue card right here. We're going to change it to active card. So let's see what our cards look like. As you can see, they are right there, but they don't look quite nice for now. Let's go ahead and add some CSS to our code to make this HTML look pretty nice. So let's head over to the CSS file. So right in here, the first thing we're going to do is add our font family. But before we add the font family, we have to remove this space that is inside our website. So to remove the space, we need to use this method. So we're going to add an asterisk, and right inside it, we're going to say margin 0 and padding 0. Then we're going to set box. This is supposed to be box sizing, and it's going to be other box to remove the space. And as you can see, it now looks much more better. So now let's go ahead and style our body tag. So let's say body, and we're going to have font family right inside it. The font family here is going to be just as our main font, then sans serif as the backup font in case just does not work. Then next, we can go ahead and style the container. All this while we've been adding that container class. And if you're wondering what the container does, the container is for adding this space beside the elements in our website to make it look much more nicer. Plus, it won't look exactly nice if it spreads to the full width of the screen. So right inside the container, we're going to say padding, and the padding here is going to be 20px, 430px. Then we're going to set our max width to 1300px, and margin here is going to be auto. Then after that, we're going to style every button in the website. We'll just have to add cursor, and the cursor is going to be pointer. Then next, we're going to style our navbar container. Let's see, let's start the navigation bar container. So let's say dots navbar container. Then right inside here we need to set the background. So the background color here is going to be hash FFF 00, and that is what we want for the background color. Then backdrop filter to add a blur feature to the background. Let's see, backdrop filter, and we're going to set it to blur 40 px. Then after that, we're going to set the position to sticky. This is the feature that makes it stick to the top of the website. Position sticky and top 0. Then we're going to set the index to 100, and as you can see, it sticks to the top of the screen, but you have to move everything inside this image to get the correct effect. So let's continue. After that, I'm going to style the navbar. So let's say dots navbar, and this is supposed to be navbar. So inside the navbar, we just need some some styles. Firstly, we're going to set position, so relative, and display will be flex to set every item side by side. Then align items here is going to be center, and justify content will be space between. So as you can see, this is beginning to look quite nice. So after this, we're going to style our logo text, the text right here. So let's say dots logo text. Right in here, we're going to set font size, so 30 px, and background. This is where we add the color of the text. If you notice, we have two colors. We have blue and purple at the right. So to set the color, we need linear gradient, and we're going to set the degree to 150 degrees. Then after that, we're going to set the color. The color here is going to be hash 2433D3, and we're going to add our second color, which is going to be the purple color. It's going to be hash 8808FFA4, and that's it for the purple color. Then after that, we're going to style the text for the WebKit. If you notice, we are using background for this text, which will not actually work. Background color only works on backgrounds and not on text. So to move this background and use it on our text, we need to set the WebKit background for the text. So let's say WebKit background. This is going to be background clip, and we're going to set it to text, so we can use background colors on text. So next, I'm going to set the WebKit text. Now we're going to set the text fill color to transparent, and after that, I'm going to say let's style the links container. But before that, let's see if this logo color actually works. And as you can see, it works. That is just what we want. The color have been changed. So now we can go ahead and style this link container over there. So let's set it to let's set display to flex, and align items to center. Then gap right here is going to be 30 px, and that's just what we want for the links. It's beginning to look nice. So after that, we're going to go ahead and set, let's start the links container li. Let's see, li, then a, we're targeting the list tag and the anchor tag. Then here we're going to say list style type. I'm going to set it to none to remove these dots right here, the bullets. So let's set it to none. Then text decoration, to remove the underline right here, is also going to be none. Then I'm going to set the color of the links to white. That is what we want when we get inside this dark image. But for now, let's continue styling the navbar. Next, we're going to style the nav btn container. So here we're going to say, I don't even think we actually have that class right here in HTML. Let's make sure. Nav btn container. Yes, we have the class. So let's say that nav btn container. Then we're going to set display to flex and align items here is going to be center, and gap is going to be 20 px. And after that, we're going to style the sign-in btn right here. So to style the sign-in btn, we have to do is type in the class, let's say dot sign in btn, and right inside here where it sets the width to 150 px, and the font weight is going to be 600 to make the text bold. Then the font family is going to be just font size for the text. Font size is going to be 16 px, and border will be none. Then padding right here is going to be, let's set the padding to 10 px, and border radius is going to be 30 px. The color of the button text is going to be white, and background is going to be exactly what we have right here. I have this in backgrounds, so let's just paste this in, remove the B, and that should do it for the link. For the sign-in button. It doesn't work. I think there might be a little problem. Let's find out what it is. I'll just copy the class and make sure it exists right in here. I think I used an uppercase for that S. That is the problem. As you can see, it's been fixed, and that is just what we want for the navigation bar. Now we can go ahead and continue with our background container. So let's type in .bg container. Then right inside here, we're going to set the width to 100%, and position is going to be relative. So after that, I'm going to style the bg image, which is this image right here. The image, we're going to use position absolute, so this text and our items right here can stay on top of the image. And in order to do that, we're going to set the image's position to absolute, and left will be 0, and top will be 0. Then width right here is going to be 100%, and object fit will be cover. As you can see, everything is now under the image at the moment, but you can use the index to bring everything to the top of the image. The navigation bar works just as we want. So let's go ahead and bring everything to the top of the image. To do that, we just have to get right down here. Then we're going to add our hero class. We're going to say z index is going to be 60. Then position will be sticky to bring everything to the top, and that's just what we want. As you can see, our text is right here, and the image also. This is just what we want. So let's go ahead and style the hero content. Let's say hero. I don't think we have that class yet. We're going to create it later on. Let's style the hero top instead. Hero top, and we're going to set display to flex and align items to center. Then justify content to center, and the width here is going to be 100%. Then position will be relative, and margin top here is going to be 6 rem. And as you can see, everything is now side by side here, apart from the text, the cards right under here. This is just what we want for the hero section. We can go ahead and continue with the left part, and then move on to the right part of the hero section. So after the hero top, what we have to style is the hero header. Let's say hero header. Right inside it, we're going to set display to flex, and flex direction is going to be column to stack everything on top of each other, and align items here is going to be start. Then gap here is going to be 30 px, width will be 100%. Then the color of our text in the hero header will be white. Before I show you guys what that looks like, I think we need to remove this left and top from our image and see if it remains the same. And if it still works, then we don't need the left and top. As you can see, it works perfectly, so we don't need that. As you can see, our text is also beginning to look nice, just like what we have right here. So let's go ahead and continue with the left side. After this left side, you can go ahead and add the colored text. So to add the colored text, we just need to type in the class colored text. We need the exact same background we have right here, the exact same style. So just copy this, the background, the WebKit, and the WebKit background clip, and the WebKit text fill color. Paste it inside the color text, and it should add the effects right here, just as you can see. So you can now go ahead and continue. After the color text, the next thing we have to style is the hero head text, which is the general text you can see right here. This large text, we need to make it larger. So let's say hero head text, then right inside here we set font size to 50px, and font weight is going to be 550. Then text wrap is going to be balance. Now let's see what that looks like. The text did not increase size, which means the class might be incorrect. Copy the class and search for it. It doesn't exist, which means there is a little problem. The problem is that we did not add the class right here. So create a class and add it right in there, and that should fix it. As you can see, when we reduce this image, this text should look quite nice. So we can go ahead and continue now. The next thing we have to style is the hero description, which is this text down here. So just go in your CSS and type in .hero description. Then right in here, I'll insert the font size to 16px, and font weight will be 400. Then max width right here is going to be 500px. I don't think we added this class in HTML. Let's make sure it exists. It's actually there, which means the text is just what we want at the moment. Let's increase the size and see if it actually increases. 26, and yes, it increases. That is just what we want for the text. As you can see, that is exactly what it looks like right here in the demo. So let's go ahead and continue. The next thing we're going to be styling is the hero btn container. I think we deleted that class before. It was supposed to hold this button, but we deleted it, which means we don't need it anymore. We can go ahead and style the button. So let's say dot higher btn. Right in here, we'll insert the width. We need the exact same class we used for our sign-in btn. So we can just copy all of these styles and paste it right in here for the higher btn. And that should do it. As you can see, it looks quite nice, just like what you have up there. I think this needs to be darker. The nav bar needs to be a little bit darker to look nice. The color, the white color here, overlaps with the transparent effect of the nav bar. So let's hover on this and reduce the darkness of our color. Let's make it a little bit darker, and that should fix it. Let's raise this up, and that looks much more better. As you can see, the links are now visible, so we can go ahead and continue. I think we should even make it darker. It will look much more nicer if it was darker. Now that's better, as you can see. Let's see what it looks like right here. This is what it looks like. So I think we just made it better at this point. If it hovers on this image and the image lights up the links and it's no more visible, that does not look quite nice. So making it darker is the better option in this case. So let's go ahead and continue with the hero section. Let's get down there. The next thing we have after the higher btn is going to be our hero image, the image right here. So let's type in those hero img container. Right inside here, it sets width to 100%, and display is going to be flex, and align items is going to be end. To take the image to the right side, the end part of the container. Then justify content is also going to be end. So of them basically does the same thing. So next, I'm going to style the image itself to make it smaller. We're going to say hero img The width is going to become 590px. This is going to be 590, that's 490, 590px, and object fit will be cover. As you can see, this is beginning to look quite nice. Now we can go ahead and continue. Let's find out what this problem is. We have so much space at the left and right side, and that is not exactly what we want. This does not look nice. Let's find out what the problem is. I think I already know what the problem is. It should be from the container style we added. So right here in the mark suite, we have to change it to 1500px instead, and that should fix it. As you can see, it now looks so much more better and just like what we want. So we can go ahead and continue, but the image itself still looks too big, and it's not what we want. We want the image to look as small as this, so it would be nice. Let's find out what the image problem is. Alright, I think the problem is right here. I set the width to 1000%. So let's change that. Let's change that to 100%, and that should fix it. Now the image should look like what we want. As you can see, it looks so much more better, just like what we have right here. Now we can go ahead and create the last section down here, which is the cards. So let's create the cards. Let's see what we have. After we had the hero image, and I think the hero image looks quite nice. It's just like what we have right there in the demo. And now we can go ahead and create our cards. To create the cards, we need to first add the starts container. Let's say starts container. Then right inside it, we're going to have display flex, and we're going to set the gap here to 20px. Then margin top is going to be 6. Let's set it to 6 rem, and width here is going to be 100%. Then we're going to set out the individual cards inside the starts container. So we need this background. Let's copy this and paste it right here. The first one is going to be our active card. The first card we're going to be styling. So let's say active card. We're going to change the start card to active card. So right in here, we're going to have background, and after that, we're going to set the color of the text to white. Then padding here is going to be 20px, and width is going to be 100%. Then our height for the card is going to be 100%, and mean height, to make sure it doesn't collapse so much, is going to be 150px, and the border radius, to make it look curvy, is going to be 20px. Then display here is going to be flex direction is going to be column, and align items will be center. Gap is going to be 1px. Then border is going to be 5px solid. Let's add this color. Let's use hash DDDC DC, and we're going to go ahead and copy the whole flex, the display flex and its elements. We're going to add it up here for good practice. This is how you're supposed to style, where your display flex or grid is supposed to come before any other style. So that looks much more better. Now let's see what our card looks like. As you can see, the card is right there, and it looks nice, but we need everything to come to the center. We need the text to come to the center of the card. Let's find out what the problem is. Yes, we don't have any justify content. We need to add justify content center to bring everything to the center. And as you can see, that's just what we want. Now we can go ahead and add the remaining cards. So to start the remaining cards, all you have to do is get down here and say dot starts card. You just have to copy this whole styles and put it right inside here for the start card, since they look alike. But we are going to remove the background. We are going to use a different background. So let's delete the linear gradient. Then the background here is going to be hash 1c 1c 1c, and that is just what we want for the background, as you can see. It looks quite nice, just like what we have right here. But the height seems to be too much. Let's reduce the height. Let's find the main height. That is it right there. So let's reduce the main height to 150 px, and this one is also going to be 150 px. That should fix it. Let's see. It still doesn't look like what we have right here. Let's see. I think the problem should be the height. Let's change it to 200 px, and let's see. As you can see, it looks just like what we have right there. So now let's change this one to 200 px, and that should fix it. We are now done with the cards, but we need to style the elements that are right inside it. And I think when we increase the text size, it might make the cards much more bigger. So we can go back and edit the height once more. So let's say dot starts container, then we're going to target the span tag and h1 that is right inside it. We're going to target font size, set it to 40 px, and height is going to be 50 px. Then color here is going to be white, and let's go ahead and style the p tag, which is the one that says, let's say it says happy client and all that. So let's say that starts container span, then p, and right inside here I set the font size to 15 px. Font weight is going to be 400. Then color here is going to be white. I think that's just what we want, and as you can see, the size did not increase, which means everything is okay. We can go ahead and continue. So next, we're going to make the website responsive. As you can see, it's not responsive at all, and this does not look nice. When we make it responsive, this is what it's going to look like. As you can see, this looks so much more better than this. So let's go ahead and make it responsive. So all we have to do is use our media queries. The first media query, media breakpoint is going to be 1300 px. So here we're going to say at media, we're going to target the max width. We're going to say max width, and the max width is going to be 1300 px. Right inside it, on 1300 px, we're going to set the container. Padding is going to be 20 px, 60 px, and the bg image, the height is going to become 250 vh, then the hero, we have flex direction. So these two elements here, the text and the image, does not say side by side. This is around, here is around 1300 px. So from somewhere here, I will set flex direction to column. Let's see. Let's reduce it a little more. This does not work for some reason. Let's find out what it is. Hero. Let's see what hero is in HTML. This is hero right here. So it holds hero top and the starts container. So that will not do anything. What we are supposed to target is actually, let's see, it does not hold the starts container, it holds the image and the text, which means it's supposed to do exactly what we added, but it does not do that. I think I already found the problem. This is it right here. Last time when we came back here, this is not what we are supposed to be looking at. It's not the hero. We are supposed to be looking at the hero top, which is the one that holds the header tag and the image. So right here, we're going to type in dot hero top, and inside here, we're going to set flex direction to column, and gap is going to be 60 px. Then align items is going to be start. That should give us the exact effect we want. As you can see, this is just what we want, but let's make sure it's the same with what we have right here. It's not the same. This is supposed to come to the center. the image is supposed to come to the center. That should be quite easy. Let's say hero img. The width is going to be 600 px. Then hero img container. Align items is going to be center, and justify content to bring it to the center. Going to set justify content to center. Let's see. As you can see, this looks quite nice. It brings everything to the center, but keeps the text to the left. So let's go ahead and continue. After this first media query, we're going to create the next one. The next media query on our list is going to be the media breakpoint of 1000 px. So we can copy this and paste it right here. Change this to 1000. Then we're going to open our curly braces once more. In here, we're going to set container as the first class name. The padding for container here is going to be 20 px for top and bottom, and 50 px for left and right. We're going to add our drop down btn. I think I might have forgotten to create this drop down btn for the sidebar. Let's see. Let's search for it. It does not exist, which means I forgot to create it. It's supposed to be right inside here. After this URL tag, let's see, button. Then the class name is going to be drop down btn, and the elements right inside it is going to be our icon. So to add the icon, all you have to do is create an I tag, then add a class name. The class name here is going to be ri menu line, and that should do it for the button. Let's see, that is it right there, but we still need to make it invisible on the larger screens. So let's find our links container. This is, we need to place the button beside the links container. So right here, we're going to add the button. Let's set background to none. Border will also be none. Then let's set font size to 20 px. Let's see. Let's set the color to white so we'll be able to see the icon. Color is going to be white. Now we need to increase the font size to 25 px. I think that should be enough. Then now I'm going to set display. Let's set display to none to make the button invisible on larger screens. So on smaller screens, which is our media breakpoints of 1000 px, let's find it here. I'm going to set the display to block to make it visible once more once we get to the smaller screen right here. As you can see, that is just what we want. So now to create this sidebar you are seeing right here, all I did is change the links container with position absolute to this sidebar. As you can see, the links container is not visible, so all I did was call out the dots links container. Then I used position absolute on it and added a background. The background here is going to be hash 181818, and let's see. As you can see, that's it right there. It's beginning to look like what we want. So after the background, we're going to set the top. If you notice, the sidebar is always invisible, but whenever you click, it slides down from the top of the screen, just like that. I achieved that look by setting top right here, so minus 200 VH. But if we do that right now, we'll not be able to see now sidebar for now, but we need to be able to see it in order to style it properly. So the next style we're going to add right there is going to be width, and it's going to be 100%. Then max width is going to be 240 px. Left is going to be 0, and padding is going to be 30 px. Then I'm going to set the height to 100 vh, and flex direction is going to be column. After that, I'm going to set align items, so start and transition is going to be 0.3 seconds is in out to make the transition smooth. Now let's see what it looks like. As you can see, it begins to look like just what we want. But it seems there is a problem with the sidebar. Let's add our top minus 250 VH to make it disappear for now. Actually, let's use 200 VH. That should make it disappear. Now that's just what we want. But another thing we want is to bring this button, the drop down button, to the right side of this button container. And let's see, we also have to make it a little bit bigger. So let's head over to our HTML, cut the button out with Ctrl X, then bring it to this side. That should fix it. That looks nice. Next, we want to change the button size. Let's find the drop down btn. This is it right here. Let's change the font size to 35 px. That's too much. Let's use 30, and that should look much more better, as you can see. So next, let's go ahead and style the links container. Sorry, show links. The class we're going to toggle whenever we click on the button. So let's set top to 0 whenever we click on the button. So after that, we're going to go ahead and style the links container on this smaller screen. Let's say, sorry, the links container text. Let's say links container li and a. So on this smaller screen, the color, I think we're already using white for the color, so we don't have to set the color to white once more. All we have to do is increase the font size, so 17 px. Then we're going to set the hero head text. I'm going to make the hero head text a little bit smaller so it can be responsive. Let's say hero head text is supposed to be head text. Right in here, we're going to set font size to 30 px, and after that, we're going to set hero description, which is this text right here. Let's set dot hero. Let's see, the class we need is hero description, and it's going to have font size, which will now be 16 px. Let's make it smaller. Let's say 15 px. Then margin top is going to be 1 rem. Let's see. As you can see, that looks so much more better. But I don't think this space up here looks good. Let's reduce the margin top. Let's find out where the margin top is. Let's search for margin, and this should be it, hero top. Let's find it. Sorry, let's copy it, then take it down here. So on this breakpoint, we're going to set the hero top, margin top is going to be, let's use 3 rem. Let's see, as you can see, it now looks so much more better. Now let's see, font size for hero head text should be 40 px. Let's use 30. It should look better, and just like what we have right here, we are now making modifications to make it actually look good. So next, we're going to style the hero image on this smaller screen. So let's say dot hero img. We're going to set the width to, let's see what happens. Let's see if it's responsive. As you can see, it's not responsive on the smaller screens, but when we set the width to 100%, the image becomes responsive, as you can see, and that looks much more better. So let's go back right here, which is our next breakpoint. The next breakpoint, let's copy this. Let's copy this. The next breakpoint is going to be 768 px. So change this to 768 px. Then right inside it, we're going to have our container and other classes. The first one is going to be container. If you notice on the smaller screen, there is too much padding at these sides, left and right side. So let's change the padding to 20 px, and it should look much more better, as you can see. Then after that, we're going to style the starts container right here. They are no longer responsive. So all we have to do for the starts container is get down here and see dot starts container. On this smaller screen, we're going to set the flex. Let's see. Actually, we need flex wrap. We're going to set flex wrap, so wrap to make it responsive. As you can see, that is so much more better. Then next, we're going to set justify content. So center. Let's also set the gap to 20px to put some space in between them. And after that, we're going to style our hero dog. Let's see what it looks like. Let's set it to 2 rem to see if it actually looks good. 2 rem. We actually need margin top, not just margin. Margin top is going to be 2 rem. Let's see. It looks like what we have right here. Let's go back to the last margin top. That looks much better since it has some space at the top. As you can see, that looks more better. Let's go with that. So I think we're already done. Now we can go ahead and add the JavaScript feature to use and toggle the sidebar. If you haven't learned JavaScript, you can leave right now because we're already done with the HTML and CSS design. But if you want to see how we can achieve this effect, you can stay and learn the JavaScript for it. So let's go ahead and head over to our app.jss file and add the JavaScript. So it's going to be quite easy. First, we're going to select the drop down button, which is this button right here. So let's say const drop down btn. I'm going to say it is equal to document dot query selector. So what we're doing right now is getting the button from HTML, just like we got the button from HTML right here. Just as you see drop down btn in CSS, we are just doing the exact same thing right now. So we're going to say query selector and add the class name right in here. So right in here, we're going to say dot drop down btn. Then we're going to get our next element. The next one is going to be the links container. Let's say links container. Then right in here, we're going to add the class name. The class name here is going to be dot links container. And after that, we're going to add the event listener to the button so we can be able to toggle this sidebar whenever we click on the button. So right here, let's say const. Actually, we don't need const, we need the drop down button for the event listener. Let's say drop down btn dot add event listener, and the event is going to be click. Now we can use our arrow function. So right inside the event listener, we're going to say link container dot class list dot toggle. This means that whenever we click on the button, we're going to toggle the show links container, then set. And if you remember, in the show links container, the top was 0, which means it's going to be invisible anymore since we used -200 VH to drag the sidebar to the top of the screen. When we click on the button and set the top to 0, it's going to make the sidebar drop. Now let's see if that works. I don't think it works. Let's find out what the problem is. I think the problem might be from the class. So let's go ahead and copy the class and search for it right here in CSS. It does not exist. This is the class right here. I set it to show links instead of show links. So let's add an n right there, and that should fix it. Let's see. As you can see, that fixed it, but it seems our sidebar is smaller than what we have right here. Let's increase the width. So right here in the max width, I'm going to increase it to 300px. That should make the sidebar bigger and look much more better. Then the last feature we're going to add is the icon change. If you notice, the icon changes whenever we click on it. So to add the icon change, we need to use our conditional statement. So right in here, we're going to say if links container dot class list dot contains show links. We're trying to make it so if the links container contains the class list show links, then the icon will be X, but if it doesn't contain it, the icon will be many. So if it contains the show links, let's see, I need to set the drop down btn dot inner html. So we're targeting the inner html, the inside and the element that is inside the tag of our html. The inner html, when it contains show links, is going to be let's say a parenthesis. Then inside it, we're going to have the icon tag. So let's say class, and inside it we're going to have ri close line. Then let's close the tag outside here, and this is just what we want. But I'm going to say else, which means if it does not have the show links class, I'm going to use a different icon right in here. The icon is going to be, let's say, ri menu line. Let's see if it works. As you can see, it works just like we want. And as you can see, the website is responsive. The navigation bar sticks to the top, just as I said at the beginning. The sidebar works, and this is just exactly what we want. And if you really enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask at the comment section below. See you guys in the next project. Goodbye.